Generations.
The Honourable Walt Seckel.
As the Shadow Minister for the North Coast, I rise to speak on developments in the fight against coal seam gas and unconventional gas exploration across the Northern Rivers. On October 29th, New South Wales Labour leader John Robertson, country Labour candidate for Clarence, Trent, Gilbert and I came together in Grafton to announce that a Labour government will declare a CSG, an unconventional gas-free, exploration-free zone from the Clarence Valley local government area to the Queensland border. This roughly covers the state electorates of Ballina, Tweed, Lismore and the Clarence. Labour will not allow new CSG exploration licenses. Labour will refuse to grant CSG exploration licenses. Labour will refuse renewal of existing licenses. Labour will refuse any applications to expand existing operations in the Northern Rivers, and Labour will ban existing and future CSG and unconventional gas mining on the North Coast. The Northern Rivers is a unique region that is underpinned by the reputation as a pristine environment and deserves to be protected. This is in line with the policy position passed at the State Labour Conference. And it is a position unequivocally supported by federal Labour MP for Richmond Justine Elliott, Labour candidate for the Tweed Ron Goodman, Labour candidate for Lismore Isaac Smith, Labour candidate for Ballina Paul Spooner, and Labour candidate for Clarence Trent Gilbert. Lock the Gate New South Wales coordinator Georgina Woods immediately issued a public statement backing Labour's position. Ms. Woods said, quote, "This is a very important policy step by the New South Wales Labour Party, and we commend John Robertson for his announcement today. We are very pleased that the Labour Party has listened to the community and acted. It is a wise policy that recognizes the risk that unconventional gas mining poses to land, water, and communities," end quote. Ms. Woods went on to say, quote, "All eyes are turning to the National Party. Well, will they continue to ignore the overwhelming wishes of the community and allow unaccountable mining companies to undermine our democracy?" End quote. Ms. Woods is correct. The Nationals are refusing to listen to the community. On October 29th, when Premier Mike Baird was met at Ballina Airport by gas-free Northern Rivers groups Meg Nielsen, he refused to declare the Northern Rivers a gas field-free region. Furthermore, a day later, more than 7,000 people attended a rally in Lismore to speak against CSG and unconventional gas exploration. Again, the Nationals were invisible and failed to hear the community's call to ban CSG on the North Coast. In fact, the Nationals are opposing the overwhelming voices across the Northern Rivers. Well, the March election proves to be a clear choice on the North Coast. A vote for Labour will be a vote for a CSG-free North Coast, and a vote for the Nationals will be a vote for a CSG North Coast. Of course, we are all well aware that there are two sides to every public debate, and in some cases, both sides have a right to be heard. And I'm sure all New South Wales parliamentarians agree with that premise. But I ask, do they? The CSG debate has sadly sparked the appearance of an ugly American political phenomenon, the tactic of strategic lawsuits against public participations, also known as SLAPs, S-L-A-P-P-S. This is a tactic to silence those standing up for their communities by bringing or threatening lawsuits intended to censor, intimidate, and silence critics through the fear of cost of a legal defense. The most common slap is for the threat of defamation. Unless an average punter is prepared to risk their house in a court battle, this is all reward and zero for the complainant. Of course, no one wants to see this tactic in New South Wales public debate. Yet, sadly, this odious tactic has been kicked on the state's North Coast. On October 31st at 6:30 a.m. on ABC Lismore Radio, a prominent figure in the CSG debate publicly announced that he would, quote, "have no hesitation in seeking a defamation action against them," end quote. Them meaning anti-CSG activists who dared question or challenge the public figure on his involvement in the CSG industry. That prominent person has fired a warning shot to farmers, school teachers, religious leaders, students, pensioners who will be silenced because they cannot afford to risk litigation against public figures with deep, deep pockets. While they may seek to scare communities and try to bury their links to the CSG sector by the threat of lawsuits, this figure cannot silence the chamber. The threats on ABC Radio on October 31st at 6:30 p.m. will not go unanswered. That person I am referring to is Chris Galaptis, the member for Clarence. Finally, Mr. President, I believe that he and his National Party colleagues, the member for Lismore, Thomas George, the member for Tweed, Jeff Provis, the national candidate for Ballina, Chris Bevis, and the National Party Minister for the North Coast, Duncan Gay, would be better served admitting that their policies are pro-CSG and that their policy is a sellout to the communities across the North Coast. Finally, I leave this chamber with one last question. Why is the Murwillumbah branch of the National Party hosting Met Gasco at their Christmas party on November 25th?